Today's recipe is Korean fried chicken. For Korean fried chicken, here I've got 12 drumsticks. This weighs around 1.5 kilos. Here I've got something known as sweet and spicy Korean hot sauce. I will be using this for my marination. So here I've got 1 tablespoon of sweet and spicy Korean hot sauce. Here I've got 2.5 tablespoons of garlic paste, 1 tablespoon of ginger paste, salt as per taste. Here I'm using around 1.5 teaspoon of salt, but you can use salt as per your taste. And here I've got 1 tablespoon of pepper powder, it's black pepper powder, and 1 cup of milk. So this is the first step to make this recipe for Korean fried chicken. The next step would be to coat it with corn flour and double frying it. So first I'll just marinate this Korean fried chicken and leave it overnight for a minimum of 12 hours. So let's start marinating. To this milk I will be adding the spicy and sweet Korean hot sauce. Now this is an option. If you don't have the Korean spicy hot sauce, you can use any other hot sauce. And this is spicy. You can even use a milder hot sauce if you want. I'm just stirring it well, and I'll keep this aside. I'll mix this at the end with my chicken. So first I'll add in the garlic paste, ginger paste. Oops, it happens. While cooking, things happen. Anyway, then you put pepper powder as well as salt to taste. This is a very simple recipe. So what I'll do is I'll just mix everything well. Give it a good mix. Now, you can either keep it for a minimum of 12 hours. You can keep it overnight. The longer you marinate this chicken, the tastier it becomes. So this is the first step in making this recipe. Now, I'll mix my milk mixture. Now that I've mixed it, now either you can make the gashes before you add the chicken. I just poke the knife through each of the drumsticks so that every drumstick has the spices absorbed in it. If you want to do this step before marinating this chicken, you can go ahead and do that as well. Don't make too many gashes because this drumstick is really small. If you have larger chicken pieces, that would work perfect. So now I'm covering this with plastic wrap. Cover and place it in the fridge. I kept this chicken in the fridge overnight and it is cold. I've just removed it from my fridge. It's still cold. So what I'm doing is I will be adding 2 whole eggs. I'll whisk them and add them here, and I will wait till this chicken comes to room temperature before frying it. Here I've got 2 eggs. I'll just whisk them. Always bring your chicken to room temperature before frying, because what happens if you fry cold chicken, the chicken remains raw and the temperature of the oil also falls drastically if you add anything cold to a hot oil. So here our aim is to bring this chicken to room temperature completely, and then we will go on frying them to a crispy consistency. So I'm just mixing the egg now. Now you have a choice. You can either mix the egg in the beginning when you're adding the milk, or you can mix the egg like I have after marinating it overnight. So the choice is completely yours. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just let it sit like this. Probably I'll let it sit like this for at least 30 minutes till the chicken actually comes to room temperature. To fry this chicken, I will be using corn starch today. This is what I will be using, corn starch, or you can even use corn flour. Also, if you have tempura powder, you can use tempura powder. If you have potato starch, you can use potato starch. If you have all-purpose flour, what you can do is you can divide 1 cup of all-purpose flour to a cup of cornstarch. But here I've got 2 cups of cornstarch. This is what I will be using. And this is an absolute choice. This is again pepper powder. I've got 1 teaspoon of pepper powder. Here is half a teaspoon of thyme. If you want, you can use this. If you don't want, you can skip this. I'm just adding some flavor to the cornstarch. And then I will be using half a teaspoon of dry ginger powder. Don't go overboard with the ginger powder because it's a bit too strong. Also, I'll just use about 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Now this is all an option. If you want, you can most certainly use it, or you can skip it. That is I'm doing this because I want to flavor it. And now also here I'm adding a teaspoon and a half of salt, or salt as per taste. So I'll just give this a good mix, and if I fall short of corn flour, I'll add in more corn flour later on, but I won't add more spices to this mixture. So I'll just mix all this well. I will be using this cooling rack to cool the fried chicken. I will not place the fried chicken on a kitchen towel because the kitchen towel might make, it will absorb the oil, but it still won't let the oil drain out the way a a cooling rack would do. So this is what I will be placing my fried chicken on it. And since Korean fried chicken is fried twice, so after frying it once, I will be placing it here. Then when my second batch of frying is done, I will refry the first batch and again place it on my cooling rack before serving it. To fry this chicken, I'm looking to fry this chicken at a temperature of around 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So what I want to do is I want to heat this oil up to around 370 to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So what happens is when I add the chicken to this oil, the temperature will decrease. And that's where from 370 or 375 Fahrenheit it will drop to 350, and we need to fry this chicken at that temperature because you don't want half fried or raw chicken at all. So I'm just looking to heat it up at the right temperature. Now you can see it's still not reached 350, so I will wait till it reaches that temperature before frying. While I'm waiting for the oil to heat, here I will start coating this chicken with cornstarch. So I'll just dip the chicken again properly. Just try to get all the milk and the egg out. Coat it here. Cover it. Coat the chicken well with the cornstarch. Now this specialty of Korean fried chicken is the coating. The covering of this chicken is very crispy. So just coat it well, and it's always fried twice. The temperature has reached to around 370, which is what I want. Now if you don't have a candy thermometer like I do, what you can do is also you can dip a spoon around in the oil, and you can see these little bubbles around the surface. This indicates that my oil is perfect at this time, and I will be adding the chicken. So you need to see bubbles around the spoon. Now that we've seen, I will add my chicken to this oil. So let's start adding. And remember never to overcrowd your pan. And since this needs to be deep fried, you can also add in more oil. So here I can probably only add up to 3 pieces of chicken at a time. So that was the ideal temperature for frying this. Now we can, if you want, you can check if the temperature has dropped. to 350 or not. So now you can see the temperature after adding the chicken has dropped. From 375, it's actually dropped to 350. And we have to maintain this temperature, so accordingly you can either decrease the flame or increase the flame. So my flame was all along on medium to high, and now while maintaining my temperature, I want the oil to still bubble around the chicken. So just see that either you can decrease the flame to medium while frying this chicken. I'll just turn this chicken on the other side, turn it around, flip it around, and continue frying. It's been exactly 10 minutes since I fried this chicken, so what I'll do is I'll just remove this and I will place this chicken on my cooling rack. And I'll continue frying the rest of my chicken. Before adding the second batch of the chicken to the oil, just remove these extra crumbs from the oil so that your this oil becomes a bit cleaner, because what happens is this will refry and it will become black and your oil will turn black, and we need to get this temperature of the oil back to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And like I mentioned earlier, just put your spoon. If you don't have a candy thermometer, just put your wooden spoon. If you have a skewer, you can put a skewer, and you should just see that the oil is bubbling before adding the chicken. And now if you don't have any of those skewers or wooden spoon, what you can do is just dip a little of the chicken into the oil, and the edge of the chicken, if it starts bubbling, that's when the oil starts bubbling around that chicken, that means your oil is ready. So I'll just wait till my oil comes back to the required temperature. After frying my chicken once, now I will refry it the second time. So I'll add one piece at a time. And I'll just fry this for anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. It's been exactly 5 minutes since I have refried this chicken. So very carefully I will be removing it from the oil, and I will place it back on my cooling rack. For the Korean fried chicken, I am preparing a sauce. For this, I have 1 tablespoon of sugar. Here I have some sesame oil. I'll use a teaspoon of sesame oil. Here I've got spicy and sweet Korean hot sauce. I will be using around 2 tablespoons of this. A tablespoon of white vinegar. Here I have corn syrup. I will be using 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon sesame seeds, half a tablespoon of ginger paste, 1 tablespoon of garlic paste. Here I've got hot sauce, also you can say sriracha sauce. Here I've got 2 tablespoons of sriracha sauce, 3 tablespoons of tomato ketchup, and half teaspoon of mustard paste or mustard sauce. So what I'll be doing is I will be mixing all these ingredients, making it into a nice sauce. We are looking at making a sweet and spicy sauce, so you can adjust the spice level or the sweet level as per your liking. So let's start mixing all these ingredients. So to a bowl, I will add my sesame seeds, soy sauce, add the ginger paste, garlic paste, tomato ketchup, as well as the hot sauce, the mustard sauce. Just add everything. I'll be adding a teaspoon of sesame oil. It gives an amazing flavor to the sauce. It's like a nutty flavor. Plus I'll add in a tablespoon of white vinegar, as well as this sweet and spicy and sweet Korean hot sauce. So I'll just add in 2 tablespoons of it. And this is spicy. This sauce that I bought is the spicy version. You get other spice levels too in this. And I will be adding 2 tablespoons of corn syrup. Now if you don't have corn syrup, you can alternatively use honey. And once you make this, taste accordingly, whether you want it a little spicy or you want it sweeter. What I'll do is I'll give it a good stir. And this sauce is absolutely ready to be relished with the fried chicken. This Korean fried chicken is ready. Now I'll just run my fork through the chicken and you will hear how crispy the coating is. I'll just cut into this chicken and show you how it looks from the inside. Now if you can see, chicken has been cooked so well inside. Now if you have a meat thermometer, the internal temperature for this chicken should be around 165 to 170 degrees Fahrenheit, but I don't have one currently, a meat thermometer. But if you maintain the temperature of the oil correctly, this is how perfect the chicken is cooked from inside. So please enjoy this recipe. Korean fried chicken is ready to serve. Now what you can do is you can either pour the sauce over the chicken and serve it too, or you can just keep it as a side, and whoever wants to dip their chicken in the sauce, they can do it so. So please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Please click on the bell icon for notification of my latest videos, and thank you for watching. Enjoy!